Good morning. Hope you're having a wonderful day. That rain this morning was kind of nice to see. Maybe you had a chance to stay inside and linger over an extra cup of coffee. Maybe you still are, for all I know. But it's a good morning for us to welcome our first guest. Kind of a spooky, dreary start to the day. And this year, Ruby Falls celebrates 95 years of wowing people from all across the world. Of course, no one appreciates that natural wonder more than we do right here in the Tennessee Valley. And if it's been a while since you've been, then get your tickets now for a spooky trip to the underground cavern. They call it the Lantern Tour Ghost Walk Edition. Jacqueline Lewis is back on the show. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Julie.
So have you taken it? I guess it just now starts though this week, right?
It starts tomorrow.
Okay.
And basically it is a tour through the cave. You're with a very small group. It's after hours, so there's no one else in the cave. And you hear 95 years worth of legends and ghost stories that we've accumulated over the years.
So your staff doing these tours is not only knowledgeable on the cave and the geology of the cave, but the lore of it as well.
Certainly, yes.
So is there anything you can give us, like a sneak peek?
Well, and I will add, although the name implies it, you know, we turn off all the lights and the only thing that you're lighting your way is a handheld lantern. So it really sets a tone. But the different stories that have kind of come from not only our guests, but also the people who have worked there over the years, it's either sights, sounds, or sensations. They see something they can't explain, they hear something they can't explain, they feel a cold gust of icy wind in the cave, which if you've ever been in our cave, you know there is no wind. And
oh, that's right.
And the cave self-regulates its temperature. It's always 60 degrees. So there's never a day when you go down there and it's freezing.
Has that been a frequent occurrence for people, the feeling of that wind?
There are enough stories, have been enough people who've said something so that has made it into the tour.
So you mentioned a small group of people. Is it limited to only like 15 or what's the cap?
I believe it's 20.
Okay.
And it's after hours, as I mentioned. So it's a late night tour. They typically start at 9:15 at night.
Okay.
And
that adds to the spooky.
It really does. Yeah. So if you go, get there early so you can go up to the tower and look at the view, look at the stars, look at the moon. Last night would have been a great night to do it with our full moon.
So for people who might not know, and Jacqueline has been a very good historian for us these last few visits, because there's a lot of history there in the 95 years. Funny the things that will really hold and resonate with a person. For me, it is the fact that we could have easily missed even knowing about Ruby Falls.
True.
Were it not for really a stroke of dumb luck in a way, right?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, it was accidentally discovered in 1928. And thank goodness it was, because you know, for 95 years we've been sharing the beauty of Ruby Falls and the geology of it with people from all over the world.
So when you finally approach the falls, that's always, I don't care if you've been there 50 times, it's always dramatic.
It is.
Because it does change depending on the water level and the weather. So there's a light, the lights that illuminate, the red lights. Do those change this time of year, or are they still red?
The red lights in the waterfall room?
Yeah, isn't it kind of a red illumination?
It is, yeah, it's different colors. And we do different light shows for certain events, like Romance at Ruby. It might be a little bit different, but it's a bunch of colors.
So is there any one legend of Ruby Falls that stands out to you?
You know, the thing that stands out to me is that we've had a group of paranormal experts spend the night in the cave twice. And they came back with findings basically stating that it's totally safe to be in the cave. You're not gonna, there's not like a ghost in there that's out to hurt people, but they couldn't explain certain things. They captured what they believe was an apparition on an infrared camera. They heard voices when there was no one there, footsteps when there was no one there. So Just the thought of being on a paranormal expert team, spending the night in the cave, and then coming back and wanting to come back again to capture more.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you're either going to be like the person who wants the front row of the roller coaster with your hands up the whole way, going on this tour, or you might be the person like me in the very middle, hoping for the safety of it all. But it sounds like a lot of fun. So it starts tomorrow, runs through the whole month of October?
Yes, and these sell out quickly. In fact, we've opened up additional tours because the ones we opened up a few weeks ago were already selling out.
Okay.
So go online to www.rubyfalls.com and get your tickets and get your spot.
Sounds like so much fun. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Coming up next, an area minister is working to bring a playground to the area in his grandson's memory. How you can help. That's next.
See the weather as it happens in northern Alabama from the Local 3 Storm Alert Network, on air, online, and on the go. Stunning views from Goose Pond Colony Resort, presented by Mr. Electric. We have the power to make things better.
The Chattanooga Men's Clinic opened in 2021.